Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your Canva knowledge. Where are you from?
Uh, I'm in Sydney.
Hmm.
I don't have any knowledge about Canva, but my
Okay.
daughter told you can make the brooches. I
Yeah.
heard, but in my phone I downloaded it, so but I never used it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
as
is
of now,
harder on the phone than it is on a computer. So if you've got access to a laptop or a desktop computer,
okay.
it's a lot easier to use Canva, especially for things like those sort of graphics and things where you need to enter in a lot of text and have the text formatted correctly. It's
Mm-hmm.
much easier to do it on a computer or a laptop.
What
So
about
hard.
the
Sorry.
tablet?
Tablet's
What about
very
the
similar
phone?
to a phone, but if you've got like a little keyboard that you can
Mm-hmm.
access, that's easier for typing rather than doing on your phone. It's just hard
Okay.
to control with your finger sometimes. That's really the main reason why I find Canva on the phone just that little bit
Mm-hmm.
extra challenging. You don't have
Okay.
quite as much control with placement and typesetting and making sure things are centered and looking nice. And, it's not really that critical if things are not centered. I'm just really OCD about stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
like everything to be perfect. So you can, I do a lot of Canva on my phone. I make quite a few reels on my phone. That's quite easy to do. But if you're going to be using it for a brochure, I would highly recommend doing it on a laptop or a computer if you've got access to one. If not, a tablet will be better than a phone for sure. Just because the screen
Okay.
size as well, you can imagine
Yeah.
trying to make like an entire A4
Mm.
size bit of
Yeah.
content on
Mm.
your phone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Got
yeah.
it. Mm. That's good.
Um,
Yeah,
so yeah,
got it.
who else have we got? We've got quite a few people in here now.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is anyone can jump in at any time with a question. I've got a whole list of things that I'm going to run through tonight. So we're just going to go through, the basics with Canva. I assume that everyone has a Canva account. Is there anyone on here that doesn't have a Canva account? Sweet.
I don't have.
You don't have one?
Mm.
Cool. Okay. So you
You
can
were talking
create
about
an account once
Canva
you,
account, right?
sorry?
You are asking about Canva
Yeah,
account.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't have. Yeah.
yeah. So you can have a free account or you can have a paid account.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the type of images you want to use, you can do a lot with a free account. Canva's actually really good like that. You can do a
Mm-hmm.
lot with a free account.
Yeah.
So um, like you don't need to get a pro one unless there are specific pro features that you want, like access to music. I think videos might be restricted to pro only. And I don't know if you can upload your own videos and use
Mm.
those, but it's not really,
Yeah.
that's if you want to make reels and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so for generally for what you're looking at, you'd probably be fine with a free account. And you can just
Thank
sign,
you.
like create it with like your Google account or something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll go through a little bit in terms of the Canva interface. It is different on a computer versus a phone. As I said, I find it a lot easier to use. You can actually download Canva as an app on your computer, but I find it runs really slowly. So I prefer to use the web version. So going like loading up Google Chrome and typing, going to canva.com rather than using the app. I find it a lot like nicer. So like we'll look at different design types and it's all going to come down to what your business is about. So if your business is more spa oriented or if it's more clinical, that's going to impact how you like the type of colors that you choose and also the type of design. So if it's more of a clinical like med aesthetic type business, you may find that you want to have more whites and more like clean lines, so like a squared edges to things rather than rounded edges. Those little visual cues help to guide your client to understand your business a little bit better. So I'll show you like different types of templates, and you can just stick with the template exactly as it is, or you can change things about it. I'll show you how to change colors, how to change fonts, and we'll go through a brand pack and how to actually set yourself up with brand colors and brand like fonts, so that anytime you log in, you don't have to go searching through like searching through all the fonts for the specific font that you want. So I like to have consistency, and from a branding perspective, so that clients, all whenever they see something visually, if you've got that consistency of colors and fonts, they'll always know that it's you. They'll be like, oh, that's a post from Joe, or that's a post from Tam, something like that. So those little things go a long way. It's like when you see that yellow color and you think, oh, that's Veuve Clicquot, or you see like the lion and you think that's a Holden car. Like, those little brand cues always like help you to come together. So I would try
Joe,
to avoid.
Oh, sorry. What's your business? I want to stalk while we're.
I've got 3. So I've got my skincare. So I've got Skintuitive Skincare. My salon business is Signature Skin Therapies. And my academy is currently Blush Academy, but it's going to be changing to Advanced Aesthetics Institute. As Blush Academy was fine when I was like starting out, 20 odd years ago, and I was makeup based and I was teaching makeup, blush. But it doesn't really work now that I've gone, upgraded all my certificates and gone down the skin road, and I'm now teaching microneedling and dermaplaning and plasma fibroblast and all those things. Like Blush Academy doesn't really work. So
So sorry, what was that second one again? So
Signature Skin Therapies.
Signature Skin.
So there is a brand of skincare, Signature Skin Australia, I think, and that's not me.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that they even existed before, like when I picked my name. So whoops.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fine. Like it's just for my clinic, and I only do 3 days a week where I actually am face to face with clients, because the rest of the time I'm training or I'm packing orders or stuff like that. So it's not a big deal. And my clients know who I am anyway. I've got a very small client base. I don't want to have heaps of people on my books, because I don't need it, and I don't want to stress myself out. So plasma, I do mostly plasma now, and that's really rough on the body. Like that's insane. I'll be like, 6 hours doing one treatment, and by the time I'm done, like the next day, I'm like, I need a day off. I can't walk. So we'll go through templates. I'll show you different templates for doing quotes, before and afters, like business announcements, so you guys can have an idea of what setting up a template that you use for those sorts of things, so that you've again got that consistency of a look, and things like reels and stories, and that also helps if you go onto someone's Instagram feed and it's just gorgeous. Like it just looks incredible. So, and that all comes down to how you schedule it, and if you want to, if you can be bothered creating that type of look. I can't be bothered. It's enough having 3 social media accounts. Like I'm at a verge now where I'm just like, I'm going to pay someone to do it because I can't deal. I'll create the post, but someone else can actually post them. So adding text, changing, and how to make a text go curved, and also how to create a watermark. So if you want to watermark your photos, I'll show you how to save a picture with a transparent background, so that you can then post that as a watermark over the top of your other photos, so that people can't steal your work. So using different images and elements, so how to search for different elements. So sometimes you can search some really random stuff and come up with some real gold. So knowing how to word things and find the things that you want. It's a bit like Googling, really. It's a bit of an art, and the more you do it, the better you get. Like when I first started, I was like, Canva, what? And now I love it. I'm obsessed. So how to upload your own images and your own videos, and also changing like colors and backgrounds and layering things so that you've got something. So if you want to have a watermark over one of your photos, how to layer it so that it's covering the photo, and how you can adjust the size and that sort of stuff. saving and downloading in different formats and what formats you want for different things. And, you know, whether it's PNG or a JPEG for an image, there's differences in that file type and what the default file type will be if you're downloading different things. So, and, you know, again, the tips for consistent branding, as Karina wanted, we're going to go through QR codes. So you could do a business card. So let's just pretend this is a business card. You can have a QR code on there that your client can scan, or you could make a little like sign to have on your desk, or even on your front window, you know, and they scan the QR code and it takes them to your brochure or your website or something like that, or have it as a digital business card. So there's some pretty cool things you can do with QR codes. And if we have time, I don't know if this is going to be too advanced. It might be too advanced for some of you, but if anyone's already using Canva and is like, I want to be able to do like quotes for, you know, like just a range of different beauty quotes, create them in bulk, and then just mass download them and schedule them in my Facebook, we can go through that, or we can save it for a different session if we run out of time. So roughly what sort of time does everyone have? It's like 45 minutes, good for everyone? You can just do like I think there's a thumbs up option somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to share my screen now and we can get into it. Canva. No, we'll just share screen one. No. Yes, screen one. All right, here is my screen. How do I get rid of you? Oh, that's super annoying. Okay, cool. It's on my other screen. If anyone has any questions, you just jump straight in. So this is obviously my Canva account. I've got a lot of stuff in here. So we're just going to start off with a blank. Actually, I'll just show you around. So I'm just going to move that over there so that's not in my way as well. Okay, so this is the Canva interface, what we have here. So you can do Canva Docs. I haven't bothered to go through too much and discover Canva Docs or Canva whiteboards. Super not relevant for beauty, in my opinion. Same with presentations. If you're doing training presentations and stuff like that, then maybe. It's basically just like Microsoft PowerPoint. So social media, videos, and print products are the ones that you're going to be really like mostly interested in. Canva do websites. I'm a Wix or a WordPress website girl personally, so I'm not familiar with how to use Canva for websites. But again, that's way more advanced. So we won't be doing that today. So it's going to give you some suggestions along the top here. It's going to tell you, you know, give you offers for an Instagram post, a story, a Facebook post. Personally, I very rarely use the Facebook post. I'll just use the same size for Instagram, and that way, because I have them linked, so if I post on Instagram, it automatically posts to my Facebook page. So, you know, it's the same. So Instagram story and story, these are really the same thing. I don't understand why Canva have so many different types. And we can do, it's got sizes for like full-on YouTube videos, flyers, documents, and if there's anything in particular that you want to create, you can go to the search bar up here and you can type in, say you want to do a brochure, you can just type it in and you'll see that it's got here brochure landscape, and you can see that it's a trifold. So that'll be the one that you would want, Rajani, for your trifold brochure. So yeah. I'll just click that, even though we won't quite go into that today. It's going to bring you up a bunch of different templates. And they'll all be 2 pages long. So you just sort of hold your mouse over it and it'll like scroll through what the different pages look like. You can filter it. So you can go style. You can go modern, minimalist, simple, elegant. You could choose colors. You think, oh, I want to have, you know, like a green brochure. I don't personally go through and filter them because I might like a brochure, but it's not the colors that I want. But that's so easy to change. So I don't want to limit the options of what I'm getting shown by just looking at things that have green in them as a main color. Does that make sense? So it's not something that I usually recommend to do. You can also just create blank, and what will happen is you can see the lines there. They don't print, they're just in there for reference, so you know what page is what. And then when it's got design here in this top left corner, it's got all your templates here, so you can scroll down and you can actually then type in beauty, and it's going to come up with templates that have been created for the beauty industry or have basically been tagged with beauty. But we can see we've got spa menus here, and so you can go through, and if you click one, it's going to show you both pages. You say here apply both pages, and it will import both pages into this document. There we go. And so you can actually have a look at it and go, yeah, cool, because in here it's obviously small, we can't really see what's going on there. Now that we've got it imported in here, we can see it, and it's like, yeah, all my services will fit on that. I like this. Maybe I don't like the colors, but I can change those. Cool, I'll stick with this one. Or no, I don't like that. Just hit the back button. You'll get rid of it. And then you can pick a different brochure. And maybe you want something more like this with more imagery in there of your products and that sort of thing. So there's different options. So if we go back, so let's get out of there. All right, so let's start with Brand Hub. So over to the left-hand side here, you can see we've got me, my account, home, projects. This is your library. This is where all your projects are stored. I've probably got over 2,000 projects that I've started. I can't even begin to contemplate what it would be like to tidy up my Canva. Templates. So this is not something you need to worry about. And then we've got Brand Hub. So Brand Hub is where it's a feature only available to pro accounts. So Carly, you can see your beautiful collab skin and beauty is there. So this is the brand kit that I have for my spa, my clinic. This is the brand kit that I had for my blush academy, all the nice soft pinks. And this is the new one that I have created for my new one. But we're going to create a new one from scratch. So we're going to come up to the right-hand side here. We're going to go add new. And can anyone tell me if I'm going too fast? Please just say so. So we're going to name it. We're just going to name it test because easy. Alrighty. If you have a logo already, you can actually upload it into here. And that's if you've already got one. That's actually great to do because you can actually create a color palette based on your logo if you have colors in your logo. So let's just hide Amanda. So what I might do is let's just very quickly, right, I'm just going to real quickly create a logo. So if you want to create a logo, you don't have a logo, we're just going to go to the search bar and type in a logo. And we'll go, oh, let's do aesthetic logo. Cool. That's nice. All right, let's do Wild Indigo because that's got some nice colors in there. Wild Indigo, skincare and beauty. Customize this template. All right, that's cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as an image. So I'm going to click the share button and I'm going to click download. So I usually save images as PNG because it's slightly better quality. You can change the size. So it just depends on how big you want the image to be. Usually I just leave it at 1 unless it's for print and then I'll make it massive. You can see here we've got options for transparent background. So if you were creating a watermark, you would save it as PNG and you'd have a transparent background so that all we had was Wild Indigo Skincare and Beauty. We would get rid of all that color, but then you could save that as a transparent image and pop it over a photo and it would become your watermark. So I'll go through that properly later. Hi, Amanda, by the way. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
All right. So now we're going to go back to brand kit. And we can just drag and drop the logo into here. If you're on a phone, you'll press the add new button. But because we're on a computer, we're just going to drag and drop it. And you can see it's already reading my logo and creating me a color palette. So we've got black, obviously, for the text, and it's picked out the blue and the pink. But I also really like that purple. I think that'll be nice to have in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate that color. So I've clicked on the background here, and I've clicked on this little rainbow thing here. If you're on a phone, this is going to be down in the bottom of your screen. But I'm going to click on background color. And actually here we can see photo colors. It's actually generating a whole bunch of photo colors. So I might actually just go with this one. And if I hover over it, and if you're on a phone, you just have to tap it. And it's giving us a hashtag number. So you can see it's got hashtag D8BFFE. That's called a color code. And that, if we type that into an RGB generator, it's going to always come up with that code. So we'll pop that one in. So D8BFFE. So I'm going to add, so we'll say keep, and then we're going to add in D8, what's already got some of it, BFFE. Awesome. I'm just going to hit enter, click out of it. And so now we've got some other colors. I'm also going to add white because super easy. Lovely. So that's a nice little basic brand kit. That'll be fine. So we can rename this, but it doesn't really matter. And now we're going to do some fonts. So we want to know what this font is. So this has just come up as part of the template that I picked. And we can see here up in the top bar, because I've clicked on that font, that text box, I've clicked where that is. It's automatically telling me the font that it is. If we click down, it's going to give us a drop-down box. And this is all the fonts. So you can search in here. You can type for text style. So you can say you want like calligraphy or handwriting, and it will show up a bunch of fonts that have been tagged like that. Or you can type in like corporate if you want more corporate type fonts, like more like nice, neat, tidy ones rather than curvy and crazy. So we're going to add this Gyaza into our brand kit. So I'm going to go back to the brand kit now. I'm going to go down. So that's a main font for us. So that's what we would put as our title font. So we're going to click the little pencil button and edit. And we're going to press choose font here. And we're just going to type in Gyaza.
Is this on the premium?
Sorry?
Is this on the premium? Sorry, I missed the start.
Yeah, this is on premium. So this is your brand hub. So once I come out of this, I'll show you how to get back into this area. So you can choose your font size. I usually just leave it and I'll adjust it as I need. And I leave it as title. You could change it to the name of the font if you want to, but I usually have title, subtitle, and body is what I usually go with. We're just going to do the two fonts that we've got in our thing. So we're going to click on this other text box down the bottom, skincare and beauty, and that is the font Quicksand. So, and that is size 12. So we're going to go back to brand kit. We're going to go to body, click on the pencil button, choose a font. Oh God, what was it called? Quicksand. Quick. Yep. You never know if they're spelled correctly or not. Does my head in. Cool. So that's all I'm going to bother with, just those two fonts. We could do, actually, can you do that one as, no, it can't be italic. Well, that's annoying. That's fine. All right, so that's a basic brand kit. You can add all kinds of stuff, icons, graphics, depends how fancy you want to get. I've never bothered with any of that. I just do my fonts, I do my colors, and I pop my logo in there, and that's it. So that's it, that's done. That's our brand kit. So it's quite easy to do. So we're going to go back to Canva Home now. And so sorry, I don't know, was that you, Amanda, who was asking where this was?
Sorry.
Yep. So on the side here where it's got home, projects, templates, and brand hub. Brand hub is where all of your brand kits live. If you don't have one, then you click add new. I assume if you don't have anything, it might be a little bit bigger than that, because as you can see, I've got quite a few. It's just, we've got it in the top left here. You can do this on a phone, but it's super, super annoying because you have to know all your colors that you want in there. You've got to write down all those color codes. You've got to write down the names of your fonts. So you've really got to have like worked it out beforehand.
I've only ever done it on my phone, which is a bit in the bum. It's harder.
Have you got a computer or a laptop?
No, well, I did, but it's stuffed up. I need to get another one.
Okay, cool. Canva do have an app you can download to a computer, but I find it really slow. I much prefer logging on to Chrome and just going to canva.com. It's way faster and it operates exactly the same. There's no benefit to using the app. So I find it faster. So
the last time I did use it on a laptop, it actually distorted all the color. The color looked funny.
Oh, that'll be your color settings on your monitor.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, it looks really weird.
Yeah, the way things look on a computer versus a phone can be quite different depending on how you've got it set up. The colors themselves, if you've got it saved as your brand kit, the colors themselves won't change. It'll just be how you view them through the color settings. It's like setting up your colors on your TV.
Okay,
So I've got my computer is really intense. My partner is a like tech god, so I've got his old gaming computer, so it's got a really good graphics card and he's set it up perfectly, and I'm like, woohoo. So everything looks amazing all the time. But laptops can be quite different. Actually, I do have a little laptop, it's just a Windows Surface, and I do find that on that one it is a little bit different. So
how would you oh my gosh, Margot, stop. How would you navigate that? Because if
as in how would you navigate knowing what something's going to turn out like?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna kill
she just wants to join.
Stop. I was gonna say because if you're playing on your phone, playing on the laptop, and then obviously come print, because that's what I've noticed, and then it's completely different. So it's like, which color is the color?
It
depends. I check it on the phone.
I
check it on the phone because it prints out like the phone. It does print out brighter.
And let's be honest, if it's stuff for social media, 90% of people, who's looking at Instagram on their computer? No one. Like maybe Facebook. But and if someone is browsing their computer, like Facebook on their computer, they're probably a nerd. So they're going to have a good setup like I do. Like, let's be honest. Like nobody's sitting at their computer at nighttime going, what's Margaret got up to today? They've got their phone out and they're scrolling. So, all your stuff should be formatted and look right on a phone. So if I created something, I have both Canva on my phone and on my computer. And once you create a design, you can close it on your computer and then just quickly go to your phone and open it up and see how it looks.
That's what I do.
And then you can adjust your colors on your phone. It's heaps easier to do it that way, especially if you're doing something that's real text heavy and you want it to be formatted. So say, for example, like for my skincare brand, right? So this is one of my documents that I've made for my clinics. So this is, it's like a product matrix. So a cleanser, like who's it for? Like what concern does it suit? So it's a real easy reference guide. But God, could you imagine doing this on a phone? Stuff that for a joke.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, so this is the kind of stuff, if you're going to do your, like say, like my salon info packs as well. Like I make all of these on here. Could you imagine typing that out on your phone? No, thank you. It's way too hard.
That's what I have to do. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. So things like brochures and stuff really should be done on a computer if you want to, you know, like not go crazy.
The layout. Yeah.
So this is, so we're going to go through at some point forms. So I've popped up my form here. So I'll show you how to create those later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I have a tendency to do that. So if I get off track, can someone just yell out, Joe? I swear I must have brain. Oh my God, I swear I must have it because I'm
I was just about to say that as well.
I can relate.
I think it's a lot of us, let's be honest. So yeah, so that's basically, so now we've got like our brand kit set up, we've got our fonts, we've got our colors. So who are we again? We're Wild Indigo Skincare and Beauty. Okay. Show of hands, or just like a whole bunch of like yay or nay. Oh, we've got a chat. Thumbs up. Thanks, Randy. Do you want me to like go through things that are more clinical or more spa, like in terms of design look? What sort of, or do you want me just to do both?
Yeah, both, I'd say.
Both?
I mean,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, let's create a template. We're going to do an Instagram template. So I clicked on Instagram there and it just creates a blank one automatically. You don't get an option to choose a template. If, however, I typed in Instagram in the search bar, Instagram post square, portrait I'm guessing would be screen size, I'll get a whole bunch of templates. But it's going to give me stuff that I don't particularly want. I think that Canva now understands my algorithm, so I get a lot of like fashion and beauty. But if you haven't created much, you'll get a whole, but like, you know, we're not interested in soccer. So what we're going to do here is we'll show you also. So if we look on my left-hand side here, it shows you recently used. So these are templates that I've used before. So if you can't remember what you used and you think, oh, I want to create the same, then you just go to recently used. But we can just type in, if we want to do a before and after, we can actually type in before and after.
Oh.
And it brings up a whole bunch.
Okay.
So, yep. So you can be real specific when you search. You can actually be real specific about what you're looking for. And I find that it's definitely gotten better over time. And I think what they're doing is that it's like Canva's alive. It's learning how people use it. And it definitely learns how you use it. And it gives you, it's got a thing called magic recommendations, which is amazing. So this is a nice before and after that, you know, is quite a nice nondescript. That marble that we've got here, where this before and after is, so we could change this font, for example. We're going to change the brand kit to
your branding.
This one, and we can change that to our Gyaza, and that's nice and bold. The photos obviously can be photos that you've uploaded, which I'll show you in a minute. But we probably don't want this marble. That doesn't really go for our look. So that's the background. So you can't just like click. So we see here we've got a picture. That's like a picture box. It is a good way to think of it for anyone who isn't super knowledgeable. So we're going to have to click this little section here. We don't want to click where that text box is because we'll click the text box. We want to get this tiny little bit where the marble is. And let's just make that. Actually, we could probably even use that image. What is that? All right, so I'm going to get a bit fancy. if you're on a computer, you can do this. You can do it on a phone too. So I'm just right clicking and I can detach that image from the background. Yeah. So now I can, one thing they haven't done yet is like, I would like to know what that image is and where it is. It's probably like pastel, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy it. So I'm going to copy. We're going to go over here. I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to right click it again. And I'm going to say replace background. And now it's the background.
Voila.
Yay. It's magic. Stop me if I'm going too fast.
No, you're good.
So that's a nice way to do it. And that kind of matches our brand image. So we can do that, or we can just do a solid color, and we can pick a color from, you would choose a main color that you want for your brand as well. Like in our logo, purple is really the standout image here. A lot of beauty businesses do use purple though. So if you do want to stand out from others, I would suggest going with the blue tone, because blue is not a common image for beauty because it's very cool. It's more emotional, but it's not a very commonly used color in beauty businesses. So that will stand you out from the others. If your clients are following other people, that could be a good way to stand out. Or you could also use this more like peachy tone that we have at the bottom here.
Yeah, the psychology of color.
Yeah. So I used to work at a job network many moons ago, and they had rooms that were all different colors, and the job network people, there was some that were like a dark pink, some that were blue. They all hated because they had to swap rooms every few months because color theory was real, and they all found that their clients used to get much more aggressive when they were in the dark pink rooms. And their clients used to be really emotional and cry if they were in those blue areas. So so pink is a beautiful color, but it's very, if it's a dark pink, it can actually be quite emotive, like, but not in a calming way. So purple is a bit of a safe color, and that's one of the reasons why I went with green, because I personally find green to be really soothing and calming and relaxing. So I've gone with a lot of green sort of tones, and in my new academy I'm going with blues, but they're more muted dusty blues with golds. So so it's a little bit more like medical and clinical looking. So the color you choose again is going to should be determined by the type of business that you are. So this one we'll just pop purple as our main color. So we can change this background and just make it like the solid purple if we wanted to. We could have pink. We could also make it black and then have our font as the purple color. You could also do that if you wanted it to look a little bit more like that. So what we're going to do is just going to go back. And now I'm going to show you so with your fonts, you can do effects. So if we go up here, effects, this is also available on mobile. I like to put a shadow around my text to lift it out of the image a little bit. So it just adds that little something extra. So I really like it, especially if the font is a little bit hard to read or the color's not quite right. So say, for example, we moved this to the skin, and so let's take off the effect. Let's say none, and we'll make the font white. It's real hard to read. Like, you can see it, but it's much harder to read. If we add the shadow behind it, instantly better. So if you're going to be using white fonts, having a shadow behind it makes a huge difference to the visibility of your text. I hope that makes sense. I like the look. We want cool. So that's something we could do as a before and after. And what you can do is you can just save this as before and after. And then every time you add a new one, you can duplicate this page and just add in different images. So we can go up here, duplicate page. If you're on a phone, it's...
Yeah, when you go to the layout and then you click on it, when it shows you like where they're
multiple
all together.
pages, like this one. Yeah.
Yep.
So for anyone who didn't follow
duplicate,
there, so if down in the bottom right-hand side, you'll see these 4 dots and it will say grid view. And you can see that on a phone too.
Yeah.
If you click that, you can
add another page,
3
whatever.
dots. On a phone, I think it's a bit more visible, but you can click the 3 dots and duplicate page and just create another. We can also multiple select, and then up here, duplicate 3 pages. We can create a whole bunch. We don't need
I didn't
that.
know you could do that.
Yep.
Cool.
There you go. It was worthwhile coming on here after all.
It was. I was at the dentist. I'd much rather be here than at the dentist.
Oh my God. Tell me about it.
So when you do it like that, is that how you would like batch?
No. So if I'm going to batch create, say, some quotes or some question and answers, that's a little bit more fancy. So, I mean, you could batch create it that way and do it manually, but if it's text heavy and it's a whole bunch of quotes, let me back to home.
Yeah. So like, just how would you then, like, just what you've shown us then, what would be the purpose of?
So say, for example, you already had a portfolio. So who's on here tonight? So someone's on here tonight who's been in business for like 4 years, but has basically no social media presence, and is just sort of starting to get herself sorted. She's probably got a shit ton of content. Oh, cool. So you've probably got a shit ton of content,
I have a shit ton of content.
So for you, just batch creating a whole bunch, and then you can just save them, and you can actually... So I'm just going to very quickly open up my Facebook Meta Business Suite. You can actually save those into your Facebook suite as images to use later. So if we go to content, I think it's content. Collections, creative assets, I think. No, must be in planner. All right, so just going to double check that I'm in the right center. Oh no, maybe it was going to. I hate Facebook. All right, so we're going to go create. Here we go. So we can add a photo and add from file manager. There it is, file manager. So there is somewhere in here, there is something called file manager. All right, I don't know where it is. I will find it randomly and then be like, oh, I'm going to upload a bunch of stuff. So what I've done is I've uploaded stuff and I've popped them in folders. And so I can spend one day, and it would take me a whole day, but I would create 3 months worth of content for my Facebook and Instagram pages. So you can see this is all stuff that I've created in Canva and I've uploaded it. So the benefit to batch creating stuff and doing a whole bunch of content is that you can spend one day. So say, for example, you're not open on a Monday, and that's like a bit of an admin day for you. Just write it off and spend a whole day just creating content in Canva, just creating the content. That's going to take you forever, especially if you're like me and you're like, oh, shiny. So easy to get distracted. And and then next week, what you're going to do is on the next Monday, again, write it off and spend an entire day, and you're going to schedule. So if you go to your planner, we can bring up a whole month and you can schedule posts on every Monday every
Wow,
Wednesday,
I don't
every
even
Friday.
use this. Like, what even is this?
So
I mean,
this,
look,
okay.
yeah, as I said, it's
So
been a
this
minute.
is Meta Business Week. So you and I might need to have like a one-on-one Zoom call so I can like set you up with this.
Yeah, right.
But
I think
basically,
previously, like, I'd have different apps. Like,
yeah,
I think
yeah, like
previously I was using, you know,
Hootsuite.
this
There's
Panel.
heaps of apps. You
Yeah.
can post directly from Canva. If you've linked Canva, you can share and then go Instagram. But
Yeah.
if you have more than one page, once you've scheduled it,
Yeah.
you can't then go back and schedule page 2 because it says, no, this file already has a schedule. Even if you're only sharing page 1, you've got to save each of them as an individual image. And for me, that gets really confusing if I have, 42 before and afters. I'm like, which one have I done? So I find it a lot easier to batch create them in one file, download it to my computer, and then upload it to Meta Business Suite, because then I can see them all here in a calendar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's just what works for me.
Because that's why I was like, yeah. Well, and I think previously, if I wouldn't use Canva to do my before and afters, but in my head, and whenever I've done anything else on Canva, I save each thing individually.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, why would you need to do that?
Look, you can. I like I said, I've probably got over 2,000 files on Canva.
Yeah.
But then I find I'm like, what have I done? What haven't I done? Where is it? What did I call it? It's a lot. So once you've been doing it for a long time, you'll find that you've got duplicates because you forgot that you did something or whatever. So doing it like this, just having one folder for before and after, and each time you add a new one, you just add a new page. So easy.
That's why I think Canva overwhelms me, because everything's just there.
Yeah.
All the things that I've like slightly adjusted, and I've got all these saved, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what's where.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, and if you open up a file, it automatically just saves it. And so I've probably got about 50 just empty documents. So
and rename them. Rename them instead of what they've come up as the design, because that's otherwise what the heading will be. Yeah.
Oh, I forget to do that all the time.
Yeah, same. And then it's like, oh shit, what's in that one? You see all the, you can see all your things look the same, but it's like, what's in that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see that our logo is Pastel Star Feminine Beauty Skincare logo. So you'd save that as Wild Indigo.
Yeah.
Logo. And then if you change your logo, you change this one to version 1, and then the new one you'd make version 2, or the year or something like that. So so that's the benefit. So we can close Meta Business Suite now. But one, you can you use Meta Business Suite because Instagram and Facebook are owned by Meta. They're both Meta. So you link them. So basically you share something on Instagram, it automatically posts it to Facebook if you've done it correctly, and then kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And you can go into Planner and you can schedule both Facebook and Instagram. And when once you're more advanced in it, you can get a little bit fancy, and you can actually change the content. So what you actually write for the post, you can change that for Instagram versus Facebook, because I don't like to have lots of hashtags on Facebook.
Yeah, get rid of the hashtags.
Yeah. So I customize it for both audiences.
Yeah, same.
So
can you do that going from Instagram way? I can only do that from, mind you, I'm on my phone all the time. I can only really do that from Facebook way.
As in?
Like if you're planning, if you're doing a planner, no,
you can only do it through the Meta Business Suite. You can't do it the other way around.
It'll share it, but you can't edit. You can't do the difference, can you?
So what I do is, if I'm sharing it, if I'm doing, so say for example, I'm like in my salon, I've just done a treatment and I share something, I'll put in all the hashtags, then I'll open up Facebook, I'll go to my business page, I'll find that post, and then I'll edit it and I'll take out all the hashtags manually. So I delete. That's the only way. If there's another way, I'm not aware of it. But I am not a Facebook god by any means.
Straight on and edit it. Yeah.
So
No. Okay.
So that for me is the most efficient way to do it. It's quick, it's easy, it's a pain in the ass, but you know, it is.
Can I
what
ask
it
you a
is.
question?
Mm.
If with feedback and referrals and reviews and stuff like that, testimonials, do you have a particular way of copying that to like do something up on Canva with it, or is it a matter of just copy and pasting?
Yeah, it's just copy and paste.
Okay.
So I've got a template that I use. So again, we can do, so that's our before and after. So we can create another one. So this is mine. What was it called?
And do you call yours testimonials or reviews? What do you call yours? Feedback?
I think testimonial.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh. Testimonial. So this must be one that I had for Blush Academy. Yeah. So this is my Blush Academy. It's pink, but you know. So that's one that I've got, and I've just got like a whole bunch. But there's other styles. I don't know what style I've done for. I don't know what I've called the one that I've got for my salon. I obviously didn't come up when I typed testimonial, so it's probably just the template name, to be frank.
Yeah.
But we can type in the template. So we go to design, we can type in here, we can type in testimonial. Oops. Helps if you spell it right. So mine's like this, actually. I think now I've changed it. It doesn't look like that, but that's the template I used because I liked that. I've got different image behind, etc. So this is quite a common one that I see. This ring one. So we can change this again. We can pop our sexy little picture behind. I'm just going to leave that detached. I'm apparently going to have to do that quite a bit. Paste it. Replace background. Oh, that's quite cute. Should we make that black? Oh, no. Nope. Nope, leave it white.
Or purple?
I think purple might get a bit lost.
Yeah.
Blue? Pink?
No,
No.
I like the white.
White with some sparkles.
Ooh, we can add sparkles. Now, if we want to get fancy, we can make it like a video. Although videos now only post as reels, so that's a no. That's super annoying. I hate that they did that. So if you're going to post anything with moving graphics, it always will post as a reel, which just sucks.
But it's
so
good
elements.
for it's good for the algorithm, I suppose.
That's true. So we can go. So what do we want? Sparkles. Oh no, we want you to be white, please.
Nice. Even like the purple. Then bring that.
Let's make it a bit smaller. Maybe we could like pop it sort of like there in front of her face. Pink. Oop. And you can orient. So this little icon, we can swing it around and do all sorts of things. So we can also change, we can choose colors from the photos you can see down here. I feel like that's quite cute. We can also, if we want to get real fancy, we can copy. I'm just going to use my keyboard shortcuts, Control V, Control P. And we're going to get it real nice and close. And now this is where I'm going to get fancy and use my layering. So I actually want this white to be behind the purple and act kind of like a shadow behind the purple. So I'm going to go here to position and I'm going to go backwards. And now it's sitting behind. It's still a little bit too close. There we go. So yeah, so we can do, you know, make it a little bit fancier like that, or you can make it slightly bigger. So that it sits behind exactly, and you just kind of get like a nice frame around it, so it makes that purple just pop out a little bit. So that's finicky, and that again is where having a computer comes in real handy. You can do that on a phone, but it will be very finicky.
Yep, it is.
So we can change the color. Oh, I quite like that in pink actually, now that we've got the white behind it. That's cute. All right, so stop faffing around with that. Now, photos. So you could have this as your logo. You could have this as your personal photo, or you could have it as just some random like cartoon lady. So let's go cartoon woman, or maybe not so cartoony.
Or an outline of a leaf or something, you know.
Yep. The ones that I use are usually these ones. So these cute little like cartoony, or these faceless ones. So you can either just click it and it'll pop into the image, and you could like not even bother having that circle there. We can make that a bit smaller and just have it like over the top, or we can actually click and drag it. Oh no, we can't click and drag it into that circle because it's not, never mind. So we can,
replace.
Get rid of the lady, just make it a white circle, and we can just pop her in front of it.
Cool.
And you'll see here that we got magic recommendations. So it's like, oh, you liked her? Here's some more. So you can find ones that match and are similar. So I think there's 3 or 4 different ladies that I use for my testimonial pictures, because, you know, most of my clients don't particularly want to have their face plastered all over my Instagram, you know, for every referral. So so I like to be a little bit more anonymous. So we're going to change this font here now. We're going to go to our headline one, testimonial, and we're going to change this one to our quicksand. It's a little bit small now. So we're going to increase the size. On your phone, it's like a little drag bar. Or you can actually click it and just type in 1.8 or 2.0 or whatever. I think I might like that. Yeah, 17 was a little bit nicer. And here you could either have your client's name. You can have it, you know, in that kind of fancy font there. You know, however you like. I quite like it in that sort of fancy font. So that's where I would do something a little bit different that's not in my brand fonts. It kind of looks like their signature. If you wanted to add in some stars, so we wanted like, you know, 5 stars. 5 stars. How convenient. We can move that down. Oh, you're a little bit large. It's a bit aggressive. And you can see how I'm centering it. What I find with a lot of Canva templates is that they're actually not centered correctly, which does my head in, because if your job is to make Canva templates, goddamn, center it, for heaven's sake. So I don't particularly like that in white, but I hated it in that yellow color. We could possibly do, no.
Black.
It's better. Maybe it's just too big. Oops. Yeah, that's better. So there we go. So we've got our testimonial. And again, you can just duplicate this page and then do another one. You can also title each page. So we can title this one as Mia Parker review. And then we can do this one as whoever else. Then Clayton review. And then when you save it, it actually saves with that name rather than page 1, page 2, which makes it so much easier.
This is life-changing.
Oh, good.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yay. No worries, Rajani. This will be available for you to watch on YouTube with more stuff. So we'll get to the brochures, but you're welcome to message me privately if you ever need any help. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Clay.
That's okay. No worries. See you.
See ya. Bye, all.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that's our testimonial. So if you wanted to
Thank
do,
you.
So I did some Q&As. What did I call it? Q&A with Joe. There we go. Happy days.
Oh, that looks good.
So this is my, and I've got 31 pages of common Q&A. So they're about ingredients, questions people might have about microneedling. So I've done a lot of work with ChatGPT. So I will be doing a session on ChatGPT at some point in the future. I love it. I actually use ChatGPT to generate my list for tonight. So what I have done, and I've got an ebook which I can send out to anyone who's interested. What I've done for myself, and I encourage everyone to do it, especially if you're new or having trouble understanding who your clients are and how to target them, is I've used ChatGPT. I'll just open it up. So what you can do is you can actually use ChatGPT to create a marketing avatar. So, and you can tell it what you like and what you don't like. So I actually gave it 3 examples of my writing, so it knew how I spoke and the tone that I take with my customers, because it needs to sound genuine, like it's me. I told it all about my business. I told it all about the treatments that I offer and the ones that I want to promote the most. I told it who I was looking for, like what type of client I wanted. And it created me 3 client avatars. So, and then I asked it to give me, how do I speak to this client when they're looking at social media for, or when they're shopping around for skincare treatments for themselves? What do they want to see on someone's social media? And then I got it to give me some question and answers about skincare and different ingredients. I said, give me, 5 Q&As regarding niacinamide, 5 Q&As regarding vitamin C, 5 Q&As for microneedling. And it gave me the questions and the answers. And then what I did was I said, okay, now give each one of those Q&As is going to be a social media post. Write me a caption to go with it to target my 3 client types. And so it's actually made me captions for everything. And it's getting so good now, because I've been working in this particular chat, like it's so long. It's been working this chat for so long that it's really starting to understand what I'm after.
And the more information, the better, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can't give it too much.
So you can save the chats.
Yeah, well, they automatically save. So I said, write me a 30-second script for a simple video explaining the top 3 benefits of using niacinamide in your skincare. And then it's given me, hey there, skincare lovers. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of beautiful, radiant skin? Well, I've got some exciting news for you. Introducing niacinamide. And I'm like, no, that is so not me. And it gives you like a, transition to the second benefit, transition back to the host. Like it's full on. And I said, that was a good start, but it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like me. Please rewrite it in my tone of voice. I always have to tell it to write it in my tone of voice. Otherwise it doesn't quite get it.
Yeah.
And then it changed it and it used words that I use, flawless, radiant, ladies, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But then it was like super salesy at the end. And I said, okay, so I'm pretty blunt with it. I said, okay, I would never speak that way. It's too gimmicky and salesy. Please, tameness. Oh, that was meant to say remember. I must have been on my phone, which autocorrects all the time. Please remember that my tone of voice is casual, but still professional and educational. I'm not speaking to young women in their 20s. And then I still didn't love it. So I just made my own. But this one was like the closest one. I was just like, you know what, like that's so not how I would say it. And so I ended up like not going with what it said. But you know, you can say no, I didn't like that, or you can click regenerate. So, but this is like a whole different topic. But I used that to create these, and I put these into an Excel document, and then I uploaded that Excel document into this file like a merge. And so they automatically populated the question and the answer into this template. And so,
oh my God.
I know, life changing. I
No.
like had a braingasm. It was incredible.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God. And so this took me probably 20 minutes.
Oh, you're shitting me, really?
To do 31 pages. Yeah.
Oh, you're killing it. Killing it.
So like it was absolutely phenomenal. So I did that also with quotes. So because I know I like to do like nice skincare quotes.
Yep.
So so this one here, sample text. So that is the template that I used.
Mm-hmm.
So I must okay. Something like this one. But I don't know why I must not have saved.
So do you still have to physically put all the on each individual one, the writing in it? You can't just sort of save that to somewhere and it'll all transfer over, will it, or will it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
it does. Yes, it does.
Oh, it formats it for you.
It does. So I just had this, and I chose the font and all that kind of stuff, and then I uploaded. So you go to, I want to say apps.
Because I've got them saved like in messages and all sorts.
Here we go, bulk create.
Right.
So you click bulk creates here.
Yep.
You can enter the data manually, so you can manually type it all in if you want to.
Oh, I see.
But I'm tech savvy. I know how to do a CSV. So I created an Excel file that had, let me, can you guys see my?
Well, you're just showing off now.
Sorry. Where did I save it?
Good old Google. I can learn anything in YouTube.
This one. Stories, treatments, quotes. Here we go. So Q&As. Oh, that's Excel, and you've got to save it as CSV. So let me just drag that across. So you just each one's a line. So I just had 25.
Yeah.
And then
so did you have to type them in initially? Yes.
Well, because I created them in ChatGPT, I just got it to create them, and then I just copied and pasted it into an Excel file. So you can go through, you can go to Google and you can type in beauty quotes and just do an image search.
Yeah.
And you'll find a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So, and there's also here brainy quote, beauty quotes and brainy quotes. So you can do it that way as well. But because I'm pretty good with ChatGPT, I was like, hey, robot, do this for me. I get the robot to do everything. He's great. It's like my best friend.
You just got to play with it, hey?
Yeah. So in here, so quotes. So if we go upload CSV, I can now go to more data, social media, quotes, open. And then it's automatically identified the field
Mhm.
which has my content,
Mhm.
and we go continue. Create pages based on the data you entered. Yep, select all, generate 50 pages. 50 pages. Okay. Oh, I
Mhm.
must have added more into the CSV file.
Mhm.
There we go. So now I've just got to go through and format them.
Yep. That's awesome.
So like this is obviously, you know, not going to be necessary, but I just wanted to have that font and color already on there in case I wanted to like change one of the last lines to be like fancy. Do you know what I mean? So so
that's awesome.
So yeah, so something like this one. So the best foundation you can wear is healthy, glowing skin. So I made skin like, you know, a nice.
Yeah, I do that with mine too, with my branding.
So yeah, so I just made sure that I had that in the thing, and it's just automatically generated me 50 pages of quotes.
That's a lot quicker than me
So
one by one,
quick.
duplicating the page all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heaps faster. So so that's a great thing to know how to do. It's obviously a little bit more advanced. Like I said, if anyone wants to do something like that and wants a little bit of help, just send me a private message on Facebook, and we can set up a little Zoom, and I can help you do it. So that
Thank you.
No problem. So what else? And if anyone wants the ebook that I created for like, but it doesn't teach you how to use ChatGPT, but it shows you can see what I've done. Like it shows you the client avatars that it's created. It's designed for microneedling, for my microneedling students, and it's about targeting that more high-end lady that has you know, a bit more of a free income, is concerned with the science of aging, that kind of stuff. And it takes you through all that detail on, you know, what kind of things she wants to see on social media, how you should be talking to her, and how you can target her through Facebook advertising. So it also goes through Facebook advertising. And for that type of stuff, I use lead generation ads. And I think it's probably going to be worthwhile to do a lead generation ad like call. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But that's one of the best ways that I get new clients is through lead generation ads on Facebook. They're not something you can run all the time because you'll exhaust your audience. But I run them alongside. I always have like an awareness campaign going.
What are they? Excuse my ignorance.
So an awareness campaign is, for example, like I'll just have like a low budget ad, like $5 a day, running constantly with some of my before and afters, or if Facebook lets me share them.
So prompting them to click on that, yeah?
Well, it's just like just making sure that I show up in people's feeds like once a week or something like that. So, you know, that they're reminder that here I am, I do these services. And, you know, like when you need your microneedling done, you should come and see me. So that's obviously not the ad, but that's what those ads are for. They're low budget. But when I want to do a new client run, I'll do what's called a lead generation ad. And that is much more targeted. I usually spend $15 to $20 a day. I do it within a 5 to 9 kilometer radius. Unless I'm doing something like plasma, which I very rarely advertise for because it's so specialized. But I do something that most people have heard of microneedling. Most people want it. So you want to do your most popular service that most people want and will come to you for. You do lead generation for that. And what that happens is when they click on that ad, there's 2 ways you can set it up. You can set it up so that it takes you to a message, like Messenger. That's that's absolute waste of money, because how many times have you clicked on an ad and it takes you in a Messenger and you're like, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
You paid for, but when someone does that, they pay for it. So, so I do the lead generation forms, and that's where they have to fill out a form where they give you their name and their phone number. I also set it so that they can choose what is the day and time or preferred day and time for your booking. So they feel like they're actually making a booking. And then they submit it to me. I have at the end of that submission, they get a link so they can book it directly if they want to. It takes them directly to my online booking. So they can book it there right then and there if they want to. Otherwise, they come into my lead center. So lead center. So, and then I've got to call them, and you've got to call them like immediately.
Yes.
And they'll pop in here. You've got their details. It's doing something where it's like that's my sister, and she's just sent me a picture to some sort of reel or something to me on Instagram, but for some reason it's popped her up. But you can see that she's an organic lead, not a paid lead. So
cool.
So that's, and then you call them. Unfortunately, you don't get a notification when you get a lead. That's the sucky thing. They haven't worked that out yet. So you've got to be refreshing it constantly. Most people send your leads come through at like 10 p.m. So first thing in the morning, you open up your lead center, you call all your leads, and you just have to harass them until they book in. You've got to call them at least 3 times, send them a message, and then just pop them into your database. They've given you their consent to have their details, so you can add them to your database and market to them with messages and SMS and emails and stuff. So it's a really good way of getting new clients. It's
lovely.
For microneedling, it's foolproof. And it pays for itself with just one customer for me. Because I'm in Adelaide, it's not a huge population here, so I usually only do $15 a day. I did $20 the last one, and I didn't notice an improvement in the number of leads or the quality of leads, so I'm just going to stick with 15. But depending on where you are, like if you're in Sydney.
And how long will you run that for? $15 a day for?
I'll usually run it for like 1 to 2 weeks. You usually want to make sure that ad is a high. It's got I'll usually do microneedling, so I might do face, neck, and décolletage for the price of just face. So they save $100. So because it doesn't really cost me anything extra, and it's bugger all extra time. But for them, it's a huge saving. So that's one that I find I get a lot of conversion, a high conversion. So that's the one that I tend to do the most often. I've done it also with hydrofacial, where I've done a little hydropeel, and that one was quite good. Probably the best one I've ever had was when I did a stacked microneedling offer, where I did an enzyme before the microneedling, which I do anyway, but just a gentle enzyme. But then I did RF first to preheat the skin, then I microneedled, and then LED. So I just called that stacked microneedling, and everyone was like, oh my God. And now 4 other clinics around my area are doing stacked microneedling. Not the same that I do it, but they were like, ooh, that's cool.
That can be a thing.
So now everyone's doing it.
That's cool.
So anyway, so that's some little things we can do. So that's the template that I picked for my Q&As. It didn't come up like that. I just changed that to have that marble background, which is my standard background. I popped in my photos, so it's personal for my clients. I've got the curvy text, which I'll show you how to do. So let's go testimonial, and then we go to effects, and then down the bottom we've got curve. Ooh. So and this is this little drag bar, so it tells you how much curve, how tight that circle is that you're creating. And if you go the other way, it goes the other way. So no curve. So things like background as well. So you can put a color behind it, and you can change. So at the moment we can see that. Let me change that color because it's really hard to see. There we go. That green's a lot better. So we can see that it's got curved edges, which is fine for this type of look. But if it was my own business, I don't like curved edges. I want everything nice and square. So where it says roundness, we can drag that back to 0, and we've got nice square edges now. Spread is how big it is.
Mhm.
So we can make it tighter around the text, or we can make it bigger.
Mhm.
And transparency, so we can make it sheer or opaque. And of course, you can change the color by clicking the color button.
Yep.
So, so that's a good one to know.
Mhm.
I very rarely, so shadow's one that you might use, but I find it a little bit hard to read. If you want that type of effect, you're better off with this one called Lift, which is
I use it lift a lot.
blurred. Yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah.
Neon's kind of cool if you've got the right colors. But in this instance, that's a no.
It's fun just to play with it, isn't it?
It is, and that's what I recommend everyone does. If you are trying to get started with Canva, and you're just not sure, you can't break
you can delete it all. Yeah, you can go and delete it all if you think it's all
cannot break it.
Yeah.
It is, it's an app. You just delete the file if you don't like it, or there's a back button.
Yeah.
So don't stress.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going to kill anything.
No. Thank God.
So when it comes to reels and stories, so if you say, for example, I liked this post, and I wanted to have it on my story. So you could just like post it and then share that post to your story. Super easy. But say, for example, like testimonials, I wanted to convert that to a story size. This is where we've got the resize button up here in the top left again. Resize, this is a function only for pro accounts, not free ones.
Yeah, because I do all this on the free one.
Cool. So you can resize?
No, you can't resize though.
Okay, cool. You could just
copy it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't transfer over. You know where you try to do that, and sometimes it won't copy. It'll say not available here, sort of thing. You have to remember how you did it all.
If you are on computer, you can copy and paste across documents. So you saw how we did this one.
Yeah.
We can copy it. I can go into any other design and paste, and it will go in there. So you can highlight all of this.
I can do that as well. Like I can do that as well. But sometimes if it just depends if it'll let me transfer between documents.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the bum.
Yeah. I haven't had any success transferring between documents on phone at all.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a raffle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So if you have a pro account, it may not have Instagram story. So it's obviously coming up there. But if it doesn't, you can search. You can just go story.
How much is the pro?
I think it's like $17 a month.
Oh, okay, that's right.
It's not that bad. And for how much I use Canva, it's so worth it. So worth it.
The only thing I didn't like is if you switch off the pro and go back to the unpaid one, everything you've got goes that you've already paid for, which is a bit poo.
Yeah. So you can either resize the document if you think, oh, no, I don't actually want this as a Instagram post anymore. I'm just going to do this as a story. You can just resize the document, or you can copy and resize. So, and now we're on stories. So, I mean, it's a little bit small, so it's not ideal to use that as a story post. But yeah, no. But that's how you would resize if you wanted to. This is not the best example because it just doesn't work. But you could go story templates and you could go, do you know what? That so doesn't work as a story. And you could search testimonial and be like, oh, maybe that works better.
Okay.
So, cool. We like that one. Oh, it changed all the.
And what chat GPT site are you on?
Just Chat GPT.
Oh, yeah.
So if you type in Chat GPT. It's chat.openai.com is the official website.
Okay.
So, and again, I've just got Chat GPT. Oh, you can only have Chat GPT 4 if you pay for it. Maybe it's worthwhile paying for it. I use it a lot.
It's a bloody good thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. He has
I
changed
need
my
to
life.
play with it more. Yeah. And then things are converting.
Yeah. I've used it to like write full ad copy for me too. So like my last ad that I ran, the robot wrote it for me. It was great.
Yep.
It's the best thing ever. Canva does have some sort of AI thing.
Yep.
So text to image is actually pretty effective. But text to image, they do have a one where you can like get quotes. AI presenters. Oh no. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to play with that. That's cool. Huh.
Is that like someone in the corner reading it? Like
I think so.
Like an avatar, like you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well
Wow.
now, Canva, aren't you getting fancy? I'm sure they have a AI text function. I've seen it. I don't use it, but I've seen it in. Do you have a search for it, Joanne? Sound draw? Nope. No cat. Oh, another one. Wow. Okay. No. Okay, I don't know where it is. There is something in here somewhere. But it's not very good. I don't recommend the Canva thing. Just use ChatGPT.
Okay.
But that's if you want to like generate some quotes, but they're pretty cold and not very like people will be like, what? That doesn't seem right. So when it comes to documents, so this is just an A4 document that I've created. So this is where you would type in, so I just type in A4 templates. Actually, no, I think I usually use Flyer. Yeah, blank A4 landscape. There we go. Oh no, that's landscape. We want portrait. Rude. That'll do. Just delete everything. So that's just this is just a blank document. So we can type in anything here that we want. So you could type in client form
or a graph or anything.
Yep. So I use this for my training documents, so my assessment forms and stuff. I use this for that. But I didn't particularly like anything. What you can do, which is pretty nifty, is you can actually upload a document. So you can upload a PDF. So if you were to buy a PDF of a client form on Etsy, right? Or if you already had one, but you didn't know it was PDF and you can't edit it and you need to edit it and make it updated. If it's on Word, actually, I think you can just upload Word documents, images, videos, and files. So we can go to consent forms. So let's just type in client intake form. I'm just going to drag and drop it. I don't think you can do this on the phone.
No.
But you can upload an old file and edit it and make it new and shiny again. This form...
Doesn't that make life easier, dragging and dropping?
Yeah. This form that I've created for myself took me forever. Because, of course, I had to get all the little squares lined up perfectly. And I was like, oh, my God. But it's worth it. And I'm pretty intense with my forms. So I've got my Fitzpatrick assessment on there. all their skincare concerns, and then I've also got all my informed consent and release for all the different treatments that I offer, plus their aftercare.
Yep.
So I've got it all in one document. My microneedling treatment records, for everything. So that took me a really long time. Worth it though.
How much do you want for them?
Looks great.
I
do actually sell them on Etsy. So the one that I sell on Etsy is just a black and white version. Right, sell and forms bundle. So they look like so they're identical to my forms, but they're just black and white. But I can make them like anyone's colors. I mean, I can even just send you, I can actually give you the link to my file.
Because you can even save the Google Forms, because you can do them on Google Forms because they'll template it for you, sort of thing. Yep.
Yeah, you can. So if anyone wants the link for this, I can actually just template link, so anyone can use it as a template. Copy. Paste.
Very good.
Oh, that's too Rajani. Okay. I want the actual chat. There we go. To everyone. There we go. Cool. I just sent the link into the chat. Cool. So there you go.
Thank you.
Free.
Stop
That's
it.
awesome.
Oh, thanks.
That's okay. All right. So that's a pain in, like, it is a pain in the ass to do it all. And what you can see, I'll just zoom in because so I've got my logo here. Got my thing. I've got, these are all, so these are an element. So what we'll do is we'll just make, that's the one that uploaded. Now it doesn't, it's not perfect when it uploads, but it's enough that you can muck around with it. So it usually doesn't get the fonts quite right. So yep, that's terrible. Move to trash. Let's not get confused. There we go. So you can start from a template, and I tried doing that, but I did find that it was an absolute waste of my time. It actually made me more work than not.
I agree with that. I find that too. It's just like, no, get rid of it. You just nothing that I want. Yeah.
So we're going to go in elements, and we're going to go in lines and shapes. So we're just going to click on this square.
Yep.
That's quite big. So we're going to go to the shape of it, and we're going to change it to instead of a rounded square, because we know how I feel about those.
No,
we
nice
like clean edges.
And
we're going to make it about that size, about right.
Yep.
And then we're going to drag it across. Now this here, it gives you a little like border. So I like to keep all of my words inside that border. It's like your margins.
Yeah, like you, what is it? You bleed or some bullshit. You print feed or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way, you know, it's all going to be on the page. It's pretty generous. So it's like the wide margins that you have on Word instead of a narrow one. And so we've got that. We can go to text and we can add our title. That's rather large, but we'll work with it. And take form. Now we don't want that on, we want that just on one line, and we want it to be the same as this. We can have it centered in the middle if we want to. I like things. We want to change the orientation. We click here, alignment, and it'll automatically just pop it to the side. We could make it justified. We could have it to the right or centered, however we want to do it. So you can space your letters out as well. So say, for example, add some body text, blah, 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 blah. So we've got regular spacing between them, but now we can make the spacing, so that's your letter spacing, so we can make it so they're further apart.
Yep.
I tend to keep it to the standard.
Depends how much you're trying to put on the one page and whether you're doing it in a A4 page or if you're doing it like on a little screen. Yeah.
And so this one is if you want to have them further, like each line like a bit further apart. So again, I keep it to the standard, which is 1.4. Now you can also change the way your text grows. So at the moment when I type in, if I press enter, it goes down. I can change that so that when I press enter, it is evenly goes up the page, or so that it grows from the bottom. So same diff. I really hate it when it does that. I would like to have it flowing from the other direction, but sometimes it's handy. For example, if you're in like an Instagram post and you're centered in the middle and you want it to grow evenly top and bottom, you can change the way that it flows as you add more content. So we can also add dot points. Now, dot points when it's centered look absolutely woeful. So I always recommend to have it justified. You can also make those dot points numbers by just clicking it again. And then if you click it again, it goes away. Now, and just like in Word, if you do a new line, but you want it to be a sub point, you just press your tab key. This is a function that you can have on the phone, but I don't know how to do it, to be honest. I don't write on phone if I can avoid it. If
I'll return and then I'll go back on it and just delete it.
Yeah. So you can, add more. And the same if you have it as numbers, it'll be 1 and then A. Oh, that's funky. So we can convert these into tables as well, but that's annoying and hard to do. So for when I was doing this, what I did was I sort of aligned my text that way. Then I went back into elements and I wanted a square box, but if you wanted it a round check, ooh, that's aggressively large. If you wanted a circle that your clients tick, adding it up, there we go, that's about right. So you want to make sure that it's kind of centered with your words. So it's quite a large dot actually, but you can change your colors, whatever you want to do, and then you just copy and paste. And again, this is where having it on the computer is so handy. That's about right. So now I don't want to go through that one by one for every single one. So I'm just going to highlight both of them. Control V. And Canva does this really cool thing where it tells you if you're lined up with what's above it. There we go. See how those lines came up?
And the spacing between it and all that.
Yep. So you can see how it just popped up 2.4. So now we can see they're all spaced evenly. However, it's not quite in line with that now anymore. So we need them all to go up a little bit. And this is where it gets really finicky. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. That'll do. At some point, you're just going to be like, yep.
Yeah.
And then we can copy that, copy it, paste it, and then we're going to move that across. It's going to show us that it's lined up with that pink line. And there we go, that's in the middle. So that's all nice and evenly spaced. So we can have 2 rows. So similar to my form. So I've got it over 3 lines because I want to know everything. I'm nosy. If you don't want to be as intense as I am with my forms, then that might work a little bit better for you. But that's essentially how we do it. So if you wanted to have, so we can then copy and paste that one so we don't have to make it again. And again, it's going to line everything up for us real nice. Now, so we could probably just actually move that down, and we can make this section here our client information. So before I start writing, I'm going to make sure it's oriented to the side so it doesn't stuff me up. I'm going to drag that across so that it fills the whole thing, so I don't have to bother with that later. And we're going to have name. Now, depends how you want to do it. You can just do a whole bunch of dots. So it probably won't need to take up that whole page. Date of birth. Cool. And then we can have address. That will take up a whole page. Or sorry, a whole line. This personally for me is the easiest way to do it. But you can also create lines, and I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. So what do we have? Email. And then we might want to have phone number. Maybe on the next one. So now we're going to go back to elements, and we're going to click the line. That's quite a fat line. We don't like that. I'm just going to zoom in because it's easier to see. One of the reasons, stop it. One of the reasons I don't like doing it with lines is because sometimes it'll weirdly decide that it wants to align itself on just an off skew angle, and you cannot fix it. Does my head in. So line style, so we can have it as a solid line, and where we've got line weight, it's saying 4. That's real thick. We can use the drag down, but that's super annoying. I prefer to type it in. Never recognizes it the first time you do it. You've got to do it again.
Yeah, it doesn't, does it?
No. Does my head in.
Do you go 2? I normally go 2.
Depends. Something like this, I would go 1 because I like things to be nice and small.
Yep.
And you could change it to dots. You could change it to dashes.
Yep.
It's up to you. So personally, I prefer the look of just doing a whole bunch of decimal points. Full stops.
I like that too.
I think it looks a lot nicer. But if you did have it as the lines, you can also change a color. So we could make our lines purple, for example, if we didn't want them to be so aggressive to the eye. So, you've got a lot of freedom there. But you can also, if you're on the computer, not on a phone, you can actually go in and change the color of just one part of a line. On a phone, that's not possible. But on a computer, it is. So, yeah, sometimes, weirdly, that changes the size.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, but you'll change it from black text to white text, and all of a sudden it doesn't fit in your text box anymore, and you've got to adjust it. So I don't get it.
What's that about?
I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird. Yeah.
I mean, Canva's pretty awesome, and as far as bugs go, it does have some. They're very few bugs, but the ones that are there are so weird. No worries, Ramik. Thanks for coming in. Alrighty, so uploading images. So if you want to upload your own images, so across to the side, it's got uploads. On a phone, it is, it's possible to do it as well.
Same thing. Yeah.
So if there's an option where it says gallery, but that doesn't automatically upload it.
No.
Oddly enough. So if we go back to our, say I wanted to change my my face in my little Q&A jigamy. And we go uploads, because I've got another selfie now. We can just click and drag that across. So those are my images. If I wanted to upload one, upload files, I can upload anything. So if we go, let's just
I need to get a laptop, don't I?
Yeah. So let's just say that one, we're going to upload that for whatever reason. There we go. Whoa. That's not layered at the front. Position to the front. Thank you very much. That's a picture. I could drop that in, and you can see, because that's a frame. I'll show you frames in a second. It automatically, you can see how it goes transparent. And if I let go, it just pops into that little frame. There we go. So let's add a new page. I'll show you frames. So they're in elements. And we're going to scroll down, and we've got frames. Now we can do frames, circles, shapes, or we can do grids. So if you wanted to do a before and after, a grid's going to take up the whole page. And you can't change the, you can, but you can't change the ratio. So you can change the overall size, but you can't change the ratio of that grid, if that makes sense. And then you can drop anything in there. So we can go to photos, we can drop in that lady, and we can drop in this lady, and we just drag and drop it across. So you can also have a color. So we can get rid of that, and we can click the color up here, and we can make it pink. So we could have a photo here, and then just have that as pink. And, you know, type in some text here, make a little poster, however you want to do it. But an easier way to do that without using frames is to just make the background pink, and then get our photo. I mean, we can drop and just drop it in, and then we can edit the size however we like. If we want that photo to be our background, like fill the whole page, we can either like make it that size by drawing it out, or we can click and drag and just drop it in, and it becomes the whole page. So, and you can do that with it. It doesn't have to be a document. It can be an Instagram, it can be a reel, whatever. So when you have a paid account, you can't use videos on your free account, can you?
I haven't, no.
No worries, Ruby. I'll email you through everything later. So if you have a non-free account, so we can go reel. And I like to use templates. I don't like to start with a blank reel, because it's harder if you want to add multiple clips. It's a lot harder to do that if you are using a blank reel. So I'm just going to quickly hover over these. There we go. So that one's swapped, and we've got different pages in this one. So I will always hover over and watch them and see what they do, so I can tell if I'm going to have different pages. So that's another one. So
I haven't used reels on Canva.
If they're not I normally do them on my phone, so I'll record some content. And then I'll either go into Power Director and edit it if I want to. or I'll
Mhm.
just drop it straight into Canva.
Okay.
So I have terrible internet here, so it's taking forever.
Mhm.
I'm in like a dead hole.
Well, I'm in the middle of bloody Brisbane and I'm in a black spot apparently. So short of standing on the fence with my thumb up my bum, I'm lucky to get internet.
Yeah, right. All right, so you can see here we've got different pages, page 1, page 2, page 3, 4, 5.
Mhm.
So we can just play this. And it's going to scroll through the different pages.
Okay.
Oh, that is so aggressively loud.
That's cool.
So here is the audio. So we click on that little purple line and that is the sound they've chosen, which was horrendous. We're going to get rid of that. So say, for example, like I wanted to create a reel of some of my work. I've uploaded some of my videos. So let's go. So that's 36 seconds. So I don't want it to be 36 seconds long because that's massive compared to everything else that I'm going to pop in. This is on my plasma. So I'm going to click on that just into this screen, and up here with this scissors are 36.8 seconds. I can trim that.
Okay. Or can you speed it up too? Like
you can, but it's really bad.
Too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Blink, 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 blink. Yeah.
So usually what I'll do if I want to speed up my video is I use Power Director. There is a free version, but I pay for it because I use it all the time. It was like $65 for the whole year. So worth it.
Yeah.
And I'll use that to change my speed.
Right.
So I actually pay for Power Director twice. I pay for it on my computer and my phone because these videos that I put on YouTube and all my training videos for my online courses, I edit them all in Power Director. But it's worth having it on my phone as well for the stuff that I do on the fly at work, where I would, zoom in on something like this, for example.
Right.
So one of the reels that I made, nope. All right. It's going to be in here somewhere, this one. So this is a reel that I made. It's just like a one thing, but I've got different bits, different videos in there. I'm just going to turn the volume down. Do I have music in this? No, I don't. Cool.
See, I've only ever made reels with photos. I haven't done it with video.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, why are you not moving? You should be moving. The middle one should be moving. So my cat's doing something weird in the other room. So I've got the same video. These should all be going at the same time. I don't know why that one's different. So, and then I've got, watch me remove the sunspot with a plasma pen. So this one is one that I did and I had edited little different clips. This was a 19-minute video. I filmed myself doing a treatment and I've added transitions between each one. So dissolve. So I'll show you what that looks like. Sorry if you can hear the cat bell. My cat's having a great time. And I've got the text going like this. So you can make it so that the text, and I'll show you that in a second, you can animate the text. And you can animate it to be like a typewriter effect. You can animate it to just kind of slide in. So, and you can see that I've just taken different clips from the video that I made and I've just like dropped them in. They're all at different lengths depending on how long I thought it needed to be for the viewer to read the content. Does that make sense? So this is how I do reels with like text and that kind of stuff. I don't bother putting in any sound because I'll use some sort of sound from Instagram. So the text here, so again, we're just going to go to effects. Ascend. So this is animate. So, and the effect I've chosen is ascend. If you just hover over it, it will show you what it does. So we've got tectonic. That's just going to slowly glide in and off, apparently. Cool. Breathe is where it kind of starts small and then slowly grows. We can have rise where it sort of just pops up, and you can change the speed. So rise, we can have that where it comes in as the slide comes in, and it also animates as we change the slide. We don't want that. We want it to just happen when we enter. You can change the direction, and you can also change the speed. So you can make it faster, and you can really slow it right down. So you can get quite creative with how you do it. So
very good.
So reels, it took me a long time to sort of get handy with this.
Yep.
And I'm still not like, I'm by no means a full profesh.
Looks good to me.
But I get the job done. So reels can be quite cool, and you can do all kinds of different things. So you can go into your elements here, and you can find elements that kind of sparkle. So that sparkle we were talking about earlier. Sparkles. So we go to graphics, and we can get these ones. So we could, sort of have it, position it. Okay, these are the front. So we could make you can't change the color of animated images.
Okay.
You can just change the size. So, we could do something like that if we wanted to. So that actually looks quite cute. You can also, oh, that's quite pretty. But no. You can also go into videos. So videos. So there are some videos that you can sort of like drop in the background. So say, for example, you see how this one that I'm hovering over these glitters, you can make them transparent. So, and then you can create some pretty groovy effects. So yeah, so you can, do stuff like that where you sort of have it fairly transparent, almost like a shadow effect, if that makes sense. So that's quite cool looking. We've got a warmer version here. So again, it really depends on like, how you want it to look. But you can do those sorts of things as well.
Lovely.
Sorry, I think my cat's about to jump up on my computer. I think she's had enough. She's like, oi. So that's reels. Like you can do those sorts of things. And again, it just comes down to playing around with it. And, that's what really is going to get people's confidence up. Yeah. So when you save and download stuff, so for example, say you wanted to have a watermark.
Yep.
So this wild indigo, let's pop you back in the background. Say we wanted to make a watermark of our logo that we created. We'll duplicate that page. We're going to get rid of this background and we're just going to have this. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Take up more of that space. And I'm going to center it. That's probably about right. Yep. And so where it goes to share, we're going to download with a transparent background, PNG. So if you go JPEG, you see you don't have the option for a transparent background. So it has to be PNG. Select pages. We don't want to download that first page. We just want this one. So we're just going to download that one. And then we're going to download it. Now we're going to upload that as a watermark. So you can just click and drag it into Canva. So so this is our client selfie that we're going to use, and we're going to put our watermark on there and protect our work. So you can just drop that in and you can see it's got no background. You can make it as big or as small as you like. And you can do that with anything. So I've got here we go. So that's one that I've made where I want to promote me as a trainer. So say, for example, I'm using this on a reel or a video of me doing something for my academy. I've got Blush Academy trainer, but I've got my brand logo, Signature Skin Therapies. So that's a different way. So you can create a specific watermark, or if your logo is on its own, a nice watermark, you can just use your logo. So that on its own is quite a nice watermark, but I highly recommend doing something like that to protect your work, because there are a lot of thieves out there. So that's so saving it with the transparent background is key. Otherwise it would have popped up as a white square, which is also fine, but I think it looks nicer and more professional if it's a transparent watermark.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere then.
Yeah. So with
what is it called? They say it's called something else because you can make it big or little and it's not distorted. What's it called? An N something or other. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like a vector.
Yeah, that's it. Vector.
You can't create vectors with Canva.
Oh no.
The PNG, is that what you mean?
No, I was talking about a vector. I thought that's where you can up it and make it any size and it won't be distorted. Yeah.
So with Canva, you can do SVG. So your image options are JPEG, PNG, and SVG. It doesn't have the ability to create vectors at this stage, but you can use SVG I use for my icons on my website. So they're a really nice web friendly format. But for most things I use PNG because you really it saves the most pure data, I guess, for the image. So you get the best quality.
Okay, cool.
SVG is great if it's mostly so PNG is better if it's photos, and SVG is better if it's like your design elements, like your cute little icons and stuff, your graphics. It saves them really nicely. So when it comes to things like forms and flyers, so I've made posters for my salon, with Canva. So, and I print things through Canva. So I just find it so much easier. Yep. The quality is excellent. And price wise, a big A2 size poster, A2 is $25. So
that's good.
yeah, and an A3 size is $11. So it's really not that bad. So with my brochures, no, menu, price list. What have I called it? There we go. So this is my trifold brochure that I have. So I have purposefully got it so that it goes a little bit on the back because I'm a little bit weird like that.
That looks great.
And that's the inside. So that's outside, that's the back. And then that's when you open it. This one here is your front page, a little bit about me, a nice little quote. And then on the inside, we've got skin treatments, advanced skin, and lashes and brows. And so to print, so it automatically pops up with a print option. And so, finish, I usually do a glossy finish. 50 trifolds is $53. They're usually, which is about, I find the pricing not too dissimilar to Vistaprint. It's obviously, better who's going to just print 5, but you can just get 1 for $10 if you just want to test it. But it depends how many you want. So, 150, 111, like that's pretty good. 74 cents per trifold, and shipping is free. We don't want envelopes. No, thank you.
Where's it coming from?
They have their own printers. So everything comes in a Canva box. So it's beautifully packaged. And the quality has been really, really good. I've been incredibly happy with everything I've printed, especially the posters. The posters print amazingly.
Okay.
I've done T-shirts through them, which have always been great.
And it comes to you quick enough? Like
it's usually within like a week and a half. So it's about somewhere between 7 and 10 business days. Because I just do the free shipping.
I would too.
Like I'm not that desperate. So you can do, so if you're doing business cards, you can choose like different coding finishes and that sort of stuff. And it's really good. So if you want to print more than one design though, you've got to have them all in the same document. So you can't add multiple things to cart across documents. You can only do it in the one document, if that makes sense. They haven't quite mastered their shopping experience yet, which is fine. Like once you figure it out, it's all right. So wow, this has been going for 2 hours.
Excellent.
So that's printing through Canva. So we might leave it there because I've just realized it's 2 hours. So sorry guys, I tend to do that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate everything you've done.
That's okay. If anyone has any questions, please just send me a message on Facebook. My DMs are always open for anyone who wants to know anything. I'm always happy to help. It's what I do.
Yeah, you're awesome. Thanks, Joe.
That's okay. Carla, are you still on here, my love? No, you're gone. Okay. I was going to help Carla with her website, but she's had to drop off. She's got a young baby. So that's fine. So I will send, this will be on Instagram if anyone wants to rewatch it. And sorry, not Instagram, YouTube. For anyone who wants to rewatch. And if you want that document that I made on the microneedling with like the client avatars and doing lead generation ads and stuff, if you want that, just shoot me a DM with your email address and I'll send it out to you. That's fine.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's okay.
You're
Hope
awesome.
that was helpful. That's
honey.
okay, guys.
Great information. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. All right, I'll
Bye-bye.
let you guys go. Bye.
Good night. Bye, love.
So I'm just going to very quickly record QR codes because I totally forgot to on the Zoom last night. So we're going to go to the Canva app. This is the same on the desktop application as well. So we're going to, let's just open one of the designs we made last night. Let's just go to our logo. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, so we're going to hit the plus button, and then we're going to scroll across the bottom, and there'll be an option. Okay, all right, it'll be in apps if it's not there. So you can either like scroll through what's there, or we can just type in search Canva apps QR code. QR code will pop up, this one here. Select open, and then you're going to put in the web address that you want it to take you to. So this might be your website. If you have a beauty software that allows you to link to your menu or to a specific treatment, you can do whatever URL you want. You could put in your Facebook URL, so www.facebook/yourpage or Instagram/yourpage, whatever, wherever you want this QR code to take your clients. If you have a link tree, you could set it up with your link tree link, all of that stuff. So we're just going to do www. We'll do my Square booking link because I haven't done one for that yet. We're going to go generate code, and there it is. It's that easy. So we can now go customize if you want to change the colors, but you've got to make sure that you have enough contrast between the white and the black. So you could make the black a dark color, or you could make the so like a dark purple or a gray, as long as there's enough contrast with the white, or you could make the white a really nice pastel color. So so we could, sort of do it like sort of that kind of level pink. Yeah, I think it will tell you if you don't have enough contrast. Why are you not working? Go down. There we go. And then you update the code and it will change. So that's basically how you make a QR code. Hope that was helpful. Bye.